Near AI. What did you ship this week?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the second edition of What Did You Ship This Week? My name is Cameron Dennis. I'm a core contributor at Near AI, and we're running the space every week or so just to give the community a platform to share what they're building. Think of it like a community engineering stand-up. For those who have been on engineering teams, you've got to give a quick spiel about what you're doing, and this is a great opportunity for people to demo what they're building and ultimately see how everyone in the ecosystem can work more closely together. We have a pretty amazing agenda packed today. We're going to kick things off with Eric Weiner from Near AI, who's the CTO. He'll be unpacking proof of response and a cool auditor request for proposal that we have out. Andrew from Doppelgangers will be also coming back second time in 2 weeks, for those who watched last week, to give a quick overview on what is happening in the Doppelgangers ecosystem. We have a special guest today, which is very exciting on the Doppelgangers side, and they will be demoing some stuff that would probably be better for them to flag. So next we have Kendall Cole from Proximity Labs. He will be sharing a really cool new update and type of smart contract, AI-powered smart contract or smart contract-powered AI called Shade Agents, and so more to come there. And then after we have Omar from Intellex talk about agent swarms for real world use cases, specifically for large enterprises, which is exciting because we need agents to do real relevant things in this world. And then next we got Hang Yin from Phala. Phala is building a pretty amazing agent cloud. And they are going to be talking about Red Pill and DStack and how to deploy ELIZA-based agents into their TE cloud. Last but not least, we have Zahid from Jutsu talking about the Near AI TypeScript SDK. He's been making a ton of improvements and very excited to hear from him. And so without further ado, Eric, I'm going to bring you up on stage and feel free to share your screen. Just as a quick reminder, if you are sharing your screen, please only share your screen and nothing else. There's a button to share window. Make sure that there's no other tabs in that window. This is best practices for views. When last week, I think we got 1.1 million views because of a little mistake. And so, yeah, Eric, going to bring you on stage and take it away.
I mean, I think we can top that this week with just fantastic AI content, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for having me, Cameron. So I'm excited to talk about what's going on with Near AI. Most of what we're building right now, we're planning to talk about next week at the ETH Denver conference and at the Road to a Trillion Agents event that's happening in Denver around the same time. So if you're in Denver, go to that event, go to the conference, talk to us there. We've got a lot more to show that I won't be talking about today, but there's a few sort of pieces that we've been launching beforehand in order to sort of prep for that. I want to talk through a little bit of that. Generally speaking, what we envision at Near AI is a world in which you have AI agents that are acting on your behalf, and those are talking to other AI agents that either have specialized skills or are acting on behalf of other entities, people, businesses, governments, etc. And almost all the infrastructure we build is about how do we make that happen in a way that's going to be open, accessible, and user-owned, so that whenever something, whether it's whether it's an agent or an AI model is operating on your data, what went into that, what's going to come out of it, and who's going to be able to access your data, as opposed to this world we're sort of careening into where you are sending all your data out to, at best, a massive US tech company, and at worst, like a Chinese government. So we're looking at how we're trying to make that happen. We're coming up with a few interim things that we're coming out with. One of the problems is, as you get to a world where you've got a decentralized network of agents, how do you ensure that you're going to get an answer back when you ask a question? One of the in the centralized world, you used to try another provider, and it's kind of a bad experience. What we're going for in a more decentralized agentic world is something where there's going to be economic incentive and a proof that you're going to get an answer back from the agent, that it's online, that it's ready to go, and it's going to give you a response. We put out a paper about how that should work. I'm going to share just a window for you here. Oh, I can share just a tab. That's even better. We put out a paper called Proof of Response. You can see a blog post that sort of explains the concept behind it and the purpose behind it on the near.ai blog. And then the paper itself is here on archive. We also have a team that's working on a proof of concept implementation directly into NearCore. Very exciting stuff. If you are interested in how we're going to have a decentralized network of agents that actually functions, doesn't go offline on you, check out this paper, give us feedback. We'd love to see it. Another thing we're working on, when you've got these agents that are operating on your behalf, they're by and large going to be open source and they're going to be working on open models, and that's great. But unless you're going to get the expertise to hand audit every single line of code and ensure that every agent is doing exactly what it says it's supposed to do or what they claim it's supposed to do, we need to be able to ramp up the ability to audit agent logic at scale. And so we put out an RFP for the development of an AI Auditor Agent that can go and evaluate that agents are doing what they say they're going to do. Again, this is on near.ai. Just head over to the proposals link, and it's the only thing in the proposals section right now. Check it out. If you're interested in building this, submit a proposal here. That goes to Cameron. Hey, Cameron. This works very hand in hand with TEEs, which you'll hear more about from Phala later. A trusted execution environment proves that the code that you're looking at is the code that was running. But how do you prove that the code was running is doing what you hoped it would do? That's where this AI auditor will come in. So we're opening this up to the community, trying to get other people to build it. Please go check it out, submit an RFP. On the NearAI site, we've been shipping very rapidly, lots of little features to prep for the bigger features that we're launching next week. A couple things I want to point out in particular. We've been, especially in conjunction with the fine folks at NearDev and at DevHub, we've been overhauling our documentation. In particular, secrets and environment variables for agents has been a pain point. So shipped, I think, an hour ago is brand new documentation about that, explaining exactly how everything works. We've made the NearAI Dev Hub, say, about 50% faster in the last couple weeks. We have new agent template. Oh, I haven't been changing my shared tabs. Wow. AI Auditor RFP. I've been staring at this the whole time. I didn't realize you weren't. See, we can mess up our screen shares in many different ways. AI Auditor RFP, check it out, click on proposals, read it, submit it. This goes to Cameron. You can always talk to Cameron. Documentation overhaul, great stuff, especially our new page on secrets and variables that should solve a lot of problems that people are having building NearAI agents. And then, of course, the NearAI platform itself gotten a lot faster, as I said, and we have these new agent templates that we've come out with recently. Helps you just get started with building an agent. Also highlights a few of the sometimes more hidden features of NearAI, like most agents are all the interaction comes straight from users, but you can also have that interaction come from Twitter DMs or replies. You can have that interaction come from blockchain events. So we have ability to sort of get you started on the Twitter side of that. We have our NearAI SDK, which helps to unleash the particular features of NearAI. But if you want to build on LangChain or you want to build on AgentKit by Coinbase, we have templates for that too. So we can sort of support that and shim that in. This will show you how to do it. We also have TypeScript support. So if you'd rather build in TypeScript, we can do that as well. We're just sort of building out the breadth of NearAI capabilities, and then we'll show a little bit more of that agentic interaction world that I was talking about next week at ETH Denver.
Thank you, Eric. You are right on time. So appreciate the updates. One last thing that I actually probably should have brought up is we're running a hackathon in San Francisco called the Useful Agents Hackathon on March 14th, 15th. I will drop the link in the thread below, but definitely check that out. Eric, always a pleasure. Hope to have you on again in the future to consistently keep the community updated on what's happening in actually the NEARWEEK TV. So really appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks, Cameron.
Thanks for joining. And without further ado, we have Andrew from Doppelgangers, part 2. Exciting. Welcome back, Andrew.
Thank you,
please
Cameron.
be careful when you're sharing your screen this time. Really appreciate that. And yeah, would love for you to give a quick lowdown on what you've been building. I know you've been constantly shipping. And yeah, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Cameron. And yeah, I will be sharing my screen later during the call. But before that, I want to do a couple of updates because probably no one remembers what I actually said. They only remember my screen. So a little bit of a reminder about what Doppelganger is. Doppelganger is your personalized AI. We have shipped a mobile app and a web app where anyone can create basically their digital twin. Our thesis is that the best personal assistant you can get is you. Basically, you are cloning yourself and make the clone do all the work. At least that's the vision. But since we are building this on top of Near and on top of blockchain, we are tokenizing personalities. So it's not only your data that is being used to train an AI, but it's your personality too. So you're basically adding a human touch to the AI. And that is actually tokenizable. And we are shipping new features that will allow users to share their personality traits between each other and between each other digital twins. So one of the features that I'm personally excited about is being able to merge the different personalities into one. So creating like entirely new fused personalities of different individuals. And we are planning an active campaign on that during ETH Denver next week, and after that, with a couple of influencers and KOLs from the industry. So stay tuned for that. And one of the features that we have shipped this week was actually voice cloning. So now you can not only clone your amazing personality, but you can add a voice to it. And I would like to bring a special guest on the stream. It's the first person who we officially cloned entirely. So voice, personality. So we used all of the data sources that we had access to, Twitter, Telegram, and Instagram, to create a perfect digital twin of my girlfriend Valerie.
Hello, everyone. So yeah, my name is Valerie, and I'm 100% real. I'm not AI generated, but but I already have my AI. So I'm UX UI designer in Web3, and in the community I'm more than 4 years. So and I decided to create this AI because I think people in crypto are more introverted than extroverted, and this can be helpful for communicate with someone, have support, and yeah.
Well, it's awesome to have you here. You guys have an exciting demo to kind of go through. So without further ado, kick it away. Take it away. Andrew, you're muted. Yes. Oh, and I got to bring your screen.
Yeah, so what I'm going to be sharing right now is a chat window with Digital Girlfriend, a digital copy of Valerie. What you're going to see right now is not scripted, so it's gonna be fully live. So if anything breaks, just give me a second to reload the page because it's version 1. But I really hope that nothing will break.
We love live demos, you know, especially with this team. So, yeah.
Hello, how are you, honey?
Hey, I'm doing great, thank you. How about you? Anything thrilling happening in your life or in the crypto realm?
I'm tired and I want to order something and watch movie. Let's do it.
Sounds like a perfect plan. What movie are you thinking of watching, and do you have any cravings for a specific type of food? Let's make it a cozy night in.
Let's make it.
Awesome. What's your go-to movie genre? And anything specific you're in the mood for food-wise? I'm thinking something comforting like pizza or maybe some sushi.
I think it's a good idea. Let's order sushi.
Yum, sushi sounds perfect. Do you have a favorite roll or are you feeling adventurous and want to try something new? Let's make it a fun sushi night.
I like California.
Yeah, I think we are running out of time, but this is the moment where Near Agent chimes in and actually orders you sushi. So stay tuned for more updates from Near AI.
No, this is awesome. The fact that this is all live on your phone today, I think is honestly, like, I haven't seen anything like this out yet. So I think this is the beginning of, honestly, the agentic commerce. It's going to start with everything being personal, but I actually have a couple questions, and we'll dive a bit more into the privacy component later. But yeah, like, how are you kind of working through the security concerns of like uploading all of somebody's, Instagram account, Twitter account, Telegram messages? How are you kind of managing that information?
So there are two points here. Number one, we are using X-Trace. You went live with them the other day. They are using full homomorphic encryption from the get-go, so we don't really have access to your data. It's all encrypted. But number two, the only entity that has access to that data is actually AI. So we just feed it into AI. It comes back with a response of your personality. So yeah, in the worst case, like, and the AI is actually running in the TE, so it's DeepSeek that Near is using. So yeah, your data is safe, and the file is actually stored on your device. Like, we're not interested in your data. We're only interested in your personality, and that's kind of what we're doing. I'm more than happy to share the backstory file that is created. There is literally nothing there. Like, for everyone who's afraid that there is like some personal data or anything like that, no. Number one, we are using the data filtering from the get-go. Like, there is a service from Azure, that Microsoft Azure, that removes all of that automatically. Like, it automatically detects all the credit card numbers, all the names, all the racist language as well, and it just automatically removes it. So yeah, your data is more than safe, and this is not what we are after at the end of the day. So
yeah, it's super exciting. I mean, I think this is going to be the first sort of agentic user-facing app in the Near ecosystem, and maybe even crypto. So,
oh, for sure. This is actually the first use case in crypto where it's actual personality, not a character that was created by someone's figment of imagination or some book or some reference. It's legit a personal data. Like, it's created of Valerie's messages, of Valerie's Twitter account. That's why there's so much of crypto in there when you talk to a digital girlfriend, because well, it's crypto Twitter, guys. So yeah, it's.
So Valerie, how does it make you feel? Valerie, how does it make you feel to be the first digital twin on Doppelgangers?
So I'm so happy because I'm really wanted to have something after me. So, and this is blockchain, this is AI, will exist. Like, yeah, I'm so happy to share some knowledge and I don't know, support or growth tips, because my AI talking about that stuff. Yeah.
Well, your legacy lives on. Andrew, is there anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, we're going to be dropping a link to test out Digital Girlfriend in the chat. Anyone interested, please join. It's an agent. We are working on making it up and running, launching a token, all the usual shenanigans. So all the early testers are going to get an airdrop. So yeah.
Great. Awesome, guys. Well, it's a pleasure to have both of you on. We have to move on to our next speaker. Thank you for joining. Is there anything else that you want to add before we hop off?
No, thank you.
Great. Thanks for coming. Awesome. And next we have Kendall Cole from Proximity Labs. He'll be talking about shade agents, and I do not want to spoil all the exciting stuff. So Kendall, welcome to the stage. And you have about 9 minutes, and I'll come back on and pester you to get off if you're taking too long.
Yeah, no worries. That should be more than enough time. Awesome. Well, hey, everyone. My name is Kendall. Super excited. Today is launch day for I guess it's more of a concept than anything that we're calling shade agents. So I will attempt to present. Let's see how this goes. Ooh.
There's a good chance I'll probably have to bring your screen on stage.
Yeah.
While we figure this out, if everyone goes to near.ai/shade, you can follow along in the Notion doc that Kendall's probably going to be displaying.
Yeah, that's perfect, actually. I'll just talk through it. We don't even have to go there, just make things easier. So TLDR on shade agents, it's actually going to be the first time you can build these fully trust minimized agents. There's obviously a lot of hype right now, and justifiably so, both in crypto and even in Web 2. The challenge is that, especially when it comes to agents actually doing things, like actually executing transactions or payments or anything that involves, typically a sensitive action, there's basically nothing. Like, if you use OpenAI's operator, which is amazing, usually you run into like payment walls, and then it's kind of over. In crypto, it's actually the same. If you run into needing to actually send a transaction, it's either you have to get prompted, which kind of breaks the flow, and that's the best case scenario, is you get prompted, or you have to basically give your key over to either a centralized agent, best case an agent that's running in some kind of trusted execution environment, but this key is just within that single environment, so you have all the kind of risks of anything happening to that environment, or you're running it entirely locally. And I mean, while local agents are great, that's often either not a very good experience. You're not going to be able to run the best model unless you have like a basically rack of GPUs at home, or some combination of those different things. So this is the reason that we're working on shade agents, is we actually want to address this problem. So the way that it works, this diagram here, which Cameron has nicely pulled up, is exactly it. So each shade agent has two core components. One is the worker agent itself. This is what you think of as just agent code, right? It does a few things. It probably accesses some off-chain data. It definitely interacts with some type of model, maybe an LLM, maybe another type of model. That LLM or that model itself could also be running in a T, which is the NEARWEEK team obviously has some super exciting projects for that. Or you could be, pinging out to a centralized model like O3, Grok, whatever. And then it does something. It basically generates an action that should be completed. So importantly, this is where the second component comes in, which is the smart contract. So each worker agent basically effectively is making suggestions to the smart contract of what to do. It's basically, maybe it's an agent that's going to be making trading decisions. So it's like looking at trends, it's looking at trading data, it's looking at anything it makes a decision off of, using some models to kind of decide, okay, we're going to update a position, so now we need to execute a trade. It then basically sends that trade request to the smart contract. In order for the smart contract to accept that trade request and actually execute it, it has to basically check that the worker agent is running the correct code. And so this is where that trusted execution environment comes into play. So using one of the core properties of a TE, which is basically being able to generate an attestation quote that's effectively showing or attempting to prove that the worker agent has like certain state, basically is running the right code, acting on the right things, making the right sort of the right decisions. It takes that attestation quote, sends it to the smart contract and says, hey, I'm running the right code. verify me. Here's the key I'm going to use to authenticate when I want to make a request, and I want you to let it through as long as that request fits these rules based on like, interacting with certain contracts, interacting with certain protocols, etc., and also that it's coming from me who's writing the right code. The smart contract will check the code hash and determine, okay, yes, the code hash in this TE is correct, or no, it's not, and either accept or reject it. Obviously, if it's accepted, that's the happy path. So the worker agent will now just submit trade requests. The smart contract will say, cool, these trade requests are valid. And then the smart contract is what's actually going to execute those trade requests. And it does that primarily using chain signatures so that this agent can actually interact with any contract on any chain, period, or even non-crypto applications. So yeah, that's basically how it works. So we're basically taking two core concepts. One is the decentralized MPC that is chain signatures, which basically means we don't have to worry about sort of key loss or any sort of like kind of key management attack vectors, can interact with every chain. And then we have these worker agents running in trusted execution environments, which can verify their code, keep data private and confidential, interact with any off-chain kind of data providers, APIs, websites, LLMs, etc., and then kind of make this whole engine run. So yeah, the number of use cases here, it's extremely high. I think like what's really exciting is that for the first time, we can actually empower developers to use agents as kind of core infrastructure in protocols. So imagine DeFi protocols, most DeFi protocols have some semblance of humans in the loop today. If you think about like a lending protocol is a great example, DAOs play an extremely important role in lending protocols because they have to make decisions about which assets to support as collateral, what type of restrictions on those collaterals they have to put, whether it's caps or how much, like what sort of loan to value they allow against the collateral, what type of borrowing tokens they allow, any of those kind of decisions. With this, we actually expect that developers will actually be able to plug in these agents to either reduce those humans to the loop or even remove them entirely. And they're able to do that confidently because we combine basically the verification of the entire agent itself within this TE with basically checks on the TE and protecting against any sort of attack vectors there with the smart contract. So that's probably the most crypto native approach. If you want to get beyond the pale on the crypto side, then you can imagine these worker agents, they can access anything, right? They can even either request information from just normal people off chain. They'll have to submit it to this worker agent or prove it to this worker agent somehow. But you can imagine any type of automated commerce. I think we'll even see probably more traditional financial type of use cases like like normal peer-to-peer lending off chain where people are trying to like take on under collateralized loans or things like that against employment income or things like that. And then you can even imagine bots that are able to just like buy any type of good or service or provide that. So yeah, it's a very, very large design space. Expect to see the first agents out next week. Actually, the first Shade agents will be coming live. There's I think 3 that are on the lineup for next week, and then you'll see launches accelerating from there. So yeah, definitely reach out to us at Proximity if this is appealing to you and you're excited to build. We're happy to throw up our sleeves and help out any teams in launching the first truly decentralized agents, the first like actual putting the autonomous in agents.
That's so exciting, Kendall. There's also ongoing hackathons for those people who are interested in building. As Kendall said, there's a couple amazing examples coming out next week, but the sky's the limit. There's gonna be so many more hackathons coming out. There's also an agent fund that is important to flag. So a couple weeks ago, Near Foundation announced pretty much a prop shop fund it's not necessarily the Near Foundation. I think it's an external entity that will just invest in tokens that are launched via agents or agent tokens. So this is a really cool primitive to start playing with. I think there's $20 million dedicated to support these projects. So definitely launch some Shade agents and feel free to hit up. I'm happy to drop the support group as well, or just message me on Telegram at Cameron Dennis if you have any questions. But Kendall, thanks for hopping on. Is there anything else that you want to share before we move on to Hang from Phala?
Yeah, go to near.ai/shade and start building Shade agents for the new smart contracts.
Amazing. Well, thanks for coming. Super stoked to have you on again in the future, and see you soon. Hang, bringing you up. Also bring my How's it going? Welcome.
Hi, great. It's so nice to be here. This is the first time I'm presenting here.
Yeah, well, we're lucky to have you. Just a quick overview. It would be great for you to give an introduction of yourself, introduction of Phala, and then just talk about what you shipped over the last week. And I'll probably ask some questions at the end if we got time.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Hang Yin, co-founder and CTO of Phala Network. And the Phala Network is a pretty old project. We have been working for 5-6 years. And our only focus is one thing, TEE. So that's a long story, but basically we believe in that the Web3 and the Web2 will eventually merge into a single thing. You don't need to really distinguish what is Web3 and what is Web2, and the glue between the Web3 and the Web2 is TE. So that's why TE is so important, because that's how we can bring the Web2 users in Web3 or bring the Web3 users to power Web2. And now we actually have multiple projects. The main project is Phala Network. It's a TEE-based network. So we offer the TEE service and the TEE cloud. I'm going to show you that pretty soon. And at the same time, we also have a few other projects like Red Pill to offer the inference, and even a consumer-facing project called Spro.fun. It's just a funny, AI agent meme thing. So let me just jump into the demo. So here, let me present my screen. First thing I want to show is implementation, or I mean, just like a use case of the near private ML SDK, and we're pretty, feel pretty happy to build the private ML SDK together with Near AI. And as you can see, it's basically a SDK that allow you to put arbitrary machine learning models into the TE. And people already mentioned TE, but just a quick refresh. TE is like a black box. You can put your AI model in the TE, so nobody else can see what's running inside. So you get the user privacy, because input output is purely encrypted. You can feel free to send your prompt to some TE server without leaking any of the input or output. At the same time, TE also offers you the verifiability, so you can ensure that this is the real AI model, not some model that can be reduced, downgrade automatically. This is what is already happening in OpenAI, because sometimes you use OpenAI and you feel, oh, why the AI is so stupid, because they downgrade the model for like a more dumb model to reduce their cost. But here with TE, everything is provable. And the thing I want to share today is the DeepSeek model. It's a DeepSeek model R1. It's distilled into Llama 3.3, 70 billion, because this is the largest model that can run on a single TE. And we already deployed this on our server, so you can access it through our model serving project called redpill.ai. It's already live, so you can try it out. So here, as you can see, we open the dashboard. I already charged my account and created the API key. And once I have this API key, I got access to all the models available in Red Pill. And today I'm going to show you the DeepSeek one. So first, I'm going to just copy the API key. Of course, you can create whatever API key you want. And then to use the API key, let me switch to another window. So I'm using Cherry Studio. This is a pretty awesome LLM client. So it supports a lot. It is not developed by ourselves, but it supports a lot of models. And what I have done is just to create a Red Pill provider and enter the API keys, API host, and then I configure the model name here. Of course, you can use all the other models available on Red Pill as well. Then we can switch to the chat UI. I will just switch the Phala DeepSeek, and this is running in the TE. And let's see how it works. Tell me the difference between TE and ZKP. you can see it's already start the deep thinking mode, and it's going to take some time. We roughly counted the performance. It's roughly 20 tokens per second for one users. And of course, the 1T can support multiple concurrent requests. So recently we just did a benchmark. It's not a serious benchmark, but just a simple benchmark here. And it looks like we can easily get 182 tokens per second with 20 parallel requests. And we can even bring that higher if you enable higher concurrency. I haven't tried I haven't tried its limit yet. And the interesting thing I want to share is the verifiability, because now we claim that everything is happening in the private ML SDK is private, but how you can convince it's really private. So this is why we need a proof. This is called a TE proof or remote attestation. So we exposed the attestation through the Red Pill API as well. So here, if we copy this, this is the attestation API endpoint. And let me share the console. So I'm going to replace this API key with the real one. And here we go. Now you can see there is the Intel code. So this is the CPU TEE proof. And at the same time, we have the NVIDIA payload. So this is the NVIDIA confidential computing remote attestation. So I'm just going to copy this remote attestation and show.
It looks like we lost Hang. Can't see him in the chat. Rest in peace, Hang. Oh, here you are. Great.
Sorry, I mistakenly clicked the Leaf Studio.
It's
so yeah,
okay.
let me present again. So if we go back to the remote attestation explorer, just copy paste the attestation, click and verify. Then you can see this is a verified attestation. And you can see all the metrics here. I'm not going to dig deep, but if you're interested, we do have a tutorial to help you verify what is really the model running inside by checking this proof. All right, so this is the verifiable model. Yeah, it takes a lot of time, so I'm going to speed up for the other things I want to share. The second thing we have done in this week is pretty important and pretty technical, is the KMS in our underlying SDK called the DStack. So DStack is our SDK to deploy TEE in CPU TEE, and the private ML SDK is built on top of that to add the GPU support. And the KMS in DStack is very important, because without KMS, you can only rely on a single hardware to deploy your stuff. So say if you deploy your important application, you have a lot of encrypted data. But if this single CPU got just burned, or if you use someone else's server, they just exit the network, then you lose all the data, because everything is secured by the CPU key. But with the KMS, then we can decouple your encryption key with the security of the entire the key management of the entire network, so that even if a CPU is dead, you can still switch that to another CPU to continue your work. So pretty technical, and this is a really giant PR. We're going to merge this soon, and it will also be available for the private ML SDK as well. Okay, finally, let me do that pretty quick. Another thing we just launched recently is the no-code deployment of ELIZA. This is a very popular AI agent framework, and of course, we're going to support more. So this is a no-code one, so I'm just going to go through that. First, you can upload your configuration, or you can also switch a pre-configured character file, so persona like SBF. And then you just choose which client you want to connect. For example, Twitter, Discord. But here, I'm just going to only enable the direct, so only API access. Then model provider, of course, we can choose OpenAI, Anthropic, or Redpill. So I'm going to copy this one here. So Redpill. And default model, we can use the DeepSeek. And next, then choose the ELIZA version and character file. So this is the generated character file. You can see bio, SBF is a totally trustworthy assistant. So you can trust it. And the environment variable means all the important secrets. For example, the API keys. Everything is encrypted in the front end, so it will never reveal to any cloud providers like us. It will go directly into the TE, so only you and the TE can get access to that. Then I click complete. It's going to bring me back to the Phala cloud, and as you can see, the agent SBF is starting. So you can see the logs like here. It's already booting up the virtual machine. Since this will take a long time because ELIZA has a huge image size, so I'm not going to just walk through everything. But here, as you can see, it's very simple process. You can easily click, and then deploy an agent without any code.
Amazing.
All right. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you so much. I cannot wait for the day where these agents that are hosted on Phala are visible in Doppelgangers and verified liveness with proof of response, and it's also a shade agent, so you can actually transact on any chain. Like all of this stuff is coming together in real time, and so I think this is the whole point of us running these spaces, is just to kind of let the community know that everyone on this call is pretty much working together in one way, shape, or form. And this is how we build the open web and use around AI. So thank you for joining. This has been incredibly enlightening. Next up, we have Omar from Intellex. They're taking it a little bit out of the retail line and more into the enterprise world. And so Hong, thank you for joining. And Omar, welcome to the stage. If you can just give everyone a quick overview of yourself, what Intellex is, who your main target customer is, and what you shipped this week, it'd be great to hear from it.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Cameron, for having me today. I've been hearing with a lot of excitement everything that is being developed. Shortly, and for those that don't know, we just rebranded from Brainstems to Intellex, like a couple of weeks ago. So I might still say Brainstem by mistake, but Brainstem, Intellex is the same thing. We just rebranded to Intellex. What we are working on, and by the way, I'm CTO and co-founder at Intellex. What we are working on is on creating what we call the agent interoperability and coordination for multi-swarm architectures. We are building a protocol, and it doesn't stop just with a fancy word of agent that everybody is speaking about. There are a couple of things that are fundamental for our protocol. In one side is everything around assets registry when it comes to agents, autonomous agents, the models that are behind, data sources, and anything that is related. There is, of course, the what is about the building of those models and that knowledge and that intelligence. We have been speaking about today about TEE, ML, private ML. We come from the decentralized third learning concept, which is the way that you build common knowledge or a common model without exposing private information, and also ensuring that we have the right environment for an open ecosystem that brings and contributes to that intelligence. So, and speaking a little bit about the customers that we are serving and the kind of companies we are working on, if you take this food service industry in the US, it's a fragmented industry. You have a lot of different actors from the biggest to the smallest, and all are important to understand how the ecosystem works. For having the best and most comprehensive model around how the food service industry works, I need from a Coca-Cola company information, but I also need the mom and pops information, on the different products they have, the different marketing strategy they have, from the smallest to the biggest one. So for that to happen, it's really important to have the right contribution incentives, the right way of managing all that intelligence, the right way of contributing data, validating, and all the different actors that you need to have and to keep this open ecosystem, because the biggest also is going to try to establish the rules. And the only way to ensure that that's not going to happen is using blockchain and using, of course, the AI methodologies that we are using on our framework. There are other components like consensus mechanism and validation. That is also a way of bringing the Web3 and token holders to all these environment, which means, like I can own an agent, I can manage that agent, I can decide what tasks, and we will speak about that, they will be solving and stuff like that. I will quickly move on because I already spoke a lot. But speaking about what we want to show today, we are working on a use case for a customer on the food service industry that is part of that, fragmented industry where you can have a manufacturer like Nestle, Coca-Cola, you will have distributors, you have restaurants, you have broker sales, and they all have the same kind of problems. They have different understanding of what the future is going to be. So when it comes to plan and act in a coordinated way, because they all need to work together, they fail because they don't really trust each other. They don't put all the information on a same pod. They don't train the models with the same information. So one thing we are working towards that is on using swarm of agents, and here we have a different approach, or at least what we think is a different approach from what we can see out there, which is a more probabilistic approach. So we can see a lot of agents that are being built. Those agents have a task to be done, but it's somehow they are defined. The path is defined for them. So we already expect that what they are going to do and how they are going to do it. The way we solve those problems on this fragmented industry is from a probabilistic approach, where we know that there is a problem to be solved, but we are leveraging the probabilistic part of an agent and everything that is behind that agent to solve that problem. That means that I'm building swarms of agents with different roles and objectives, and I throw them a problem, and they will solve that problem in ways that I'm not expecting to happen. So the demo that we have today, that is as a shorter part of what we are working for this customer when it comes to, well, particularly we have a federated model that given a product will give you, or given menu items will give you the different products, and then you can establish a sales strategy for selling that product depending on the place and industry and etc. But what we have is a bunch of different near AI agents with particular tools, representing different roles as analyst, consultant, data scientist, data scraper, lead coordinator, sales representative, and there are some others that I am not including for time purposes on this demo. Like agents that are representing a product, that are representing restaurants. So you can have an entire, not just a plan, but a verified plan. And we have three different models that are behind this, and this is important also to achieve different ways of thinking, sometimes from the same agent, but sometimes from different agents with the same roles, so we can compare and choose the best strategies. So without further, I will try to make this work. And again, like agents and probabilistic stuff might go wrong. So the fun part is that, and on the left side, you can see the agent framework running. On the right side, you can see the near AI agents. And at some point, we will see some of those agents that are showing what they are doing. What I have, and hopefully it's going to work, is sometime I'm hitting right limits. We will see those agents establishing, depending on the tools they have, the problems that right now I'm asking is, build me a sales strategy for selling baby ribs in Austin, Texas. So you have a manager that is planning and establishing, well, I will need to search, I will need to analyze, I will need to check on the menus, I will need to do a lot of different tasks to achieve this marketing plan. Now, sometimes it might happen that it thinks that it has to go, into one route. Sometimes it might think that it has to go into another route. And that is part of the beauty, but also part of the problem that we are trying to solve when it comes to have agents that are interacting. And this could be near AI agents, could be Crew AI, could be whatever platform and framework agents. We need to establish a standard where they are going to define who they are, what they are doing, what is the role, what's the kind of information they are managing, because we will need to ensure that that's the right agent in one side, but at the same time, and connected to what we have seen from the other teams, having proof that this was executed, that it was fairly executed, that it was done correctly, and so on. And it's going slow as hell, but it's moving. It's moving. So those are kind of the things that we need to understand. We can see here that is already calling the different agents. Some cases for scraping, some cases this is an analysis agent that has a particular task. So understanding and looking at how it behaves, it allows us to understand, like what we need to take care, how we need to watch out, like when we are going to have 3 agents for the same task, we need to agree or to get to a consensus. So those are the kind of things we are working. And next week we will show some cool UX that we are working out for the activators management platform. I know I'm over time. Let me go through the latest part of it. I can show this or share this later on what is next for us and what is important. Establishing what I was saying, collaboration, communication standard mechanism, reward and payment system. This is highly important. This is something we are working using Near. Reputation system based on consensus. This is related to what I was saying just before. And, an on-chain call for agent that I think it's cool for having different agents that are out there, in this open ecosystem, so we can throw up a task. This is something I have to solve, and looking for the agents that are listed that can fulfill that task. And that's it.
Yeah, beautiful. This is, again, incredibly exciting, actually building agents for the real enterprise. If agents do end up automating the back ends of businesses, we're talking like a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity here. And so really excited to build together. I also just want to, again, flag like how all these things sort of stack upon each other. And at the end of the day, we do need that enterprise adoption in order to like hit mass market. So keep up the great work and hope to see you on a future episode.
Thank you.
Awesome. Actually, before you hop off, is there anything else that you want to tell the community? Follow you guys anywhere? I did drop your Twitter account in the thread, but
yeah, absolutely. Check on our website. Check on our Telegram. We are going through a lot of different things. Hopefully, on the few coming weeks, we are participating on the ETH Denver next week. So hopefully, anybody that wants to discuss about agents, enterprise, reality, use cases, happy to hop on some good meetings.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Omar. And last but not least, we have Zahid from Jutsu AI to talk a bit about some of the open source contributions that he's been making to the Near AI ecosystem. And Zahid, if you want to share your screen, I'll bring it on stage and you can take it away.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Present. Let me share. Allow. I'll share entire screen, but I promise there is nothing. Please no.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hey everyone, I'm Zahid. I'm founder of Jutsu. So, Jutsu, we are working with Near to kind of build a better TypeScript experience. Today, my goal is to kind of share the current state of TypeScript and then show some demo, and then later we can have some Q&A if we have time. But before I even start, I think most of the work that I'll show, I think the team that deserve the credit is Near AI team, and especially Vladim and Anton and all the people that helped me to kind of getting into learning this TypeScript SDK and kind of start building agents. So thank you, Near AI team, and thank you, Vladim, for your great work. So most people probably know about Near Python SDK, and Python SDK is the mature SDK. So if you want to know about Near AI SDK, so you can go to docs.near.ai, where you can find very good documentation about how to build an agent in Python. But recently, this week, Vladim kind of created this TypeScript SDK that get merged, so you can start kind of building TypeScript SDK, TypeScript agent today. So this is kind of the this is kind of the whole thing is kind of the anatomy of a TypeScript agent. So all you have to do to build a TypeScript agent is kind of import the TypeScript runner, and then that environment exposes few functions which should be familiar to someone who already built a Python agent. So you can write a file, you can ask for a completion from LLM, and you can add environment variable and get latest messages and thread ID. I'll come back to kind of the demo later, but this is a document if you want to get started with TypeScript SDK today. So this is a document I'm going to share here. So if you want to kind of start today, you can start today. Now let's go share you some of the TypeScript agent that I built. So previous speaker was talking about kind of a multi-agent communication and how do you build a more sophisticated agent. So I will share some of those demo. So one of these agent, for example, so this is the simplest agent. So a simplest form of agent can be an agent where you have a system prompt and as a user, you ask something to that agent to do it. So in TypeScript, it is just adding a message, and from environment variable, you call this completion method, and then you pass your prompt, and that's a simplest agent. And then the other thing that you have to do to kind of deploy this agent in Near AI Hub is adding this framework. So if you this is a way to signal that Near AI Hub that this is a TypeScript framework, so that they can run the TypeScript runner. So this is the most basic agent that basically given it can make a joke. So if you go to the hub and if you try to access that, tell me a joke. So it will sometime the joke get cold because it takes a little bit of time, but I know that Near AI team is working very hard to kind of make the environment run faster. So hopefully pretty soon it will come back with a joke. But the second, so it come up with a joke. So nice. And then the next thing I want to share is what happened. This one simple thing is great, but you probably want to build a more sophisticated agent where it can communicate with each other. So this is another example of an agent which is more kind of sophisticated. So I always wanted to write a book about AI and book about AI agent and everything. So I thought basically yesterday, why not kind of build an agent that can write a book about whatever thing I want to write. So this is a agent that can help you write a book. So you can see the first thing I do is I ask this outline agent to kind of generate a outline for a topic and the goal that I give it to that agent. So based on my topic that I'm interested and the goal, it will kind of create the outline. And when I have the book outline, then it goes through each chapter and then ask another agent to kind of write that chapter for me. So the outline agent gives me a few things. It gives me the name of the book, name of the chapter, description of the chapter, and kind of key points that chapter should be. and then go and run each chapter. So I'll run this demo. So this is, you can see it's a TypeScript project. So if I run the demo, so the first thing it is doing is like it is trying to figure out the book outline. And sometime, because the book outline have to be in JSON format, so it does not, it failed to kind of destructure. So you will see like it will retry. So this is one of the things when you are building an agent, you should remember is like sometime agent need to be retry. So you need to have a kind of retry mechanism. So you can see it already start writing the first chapter. So introduction to AI agent. And then it will write in Markdown. So then it will start writing the second chapter. So if I go to the here, so here is my book. So you can see introduction to AI agent, different type of agent. So like a reflexive agent, model-based, reflective agent. So you can see like it keep writing that book in a Markdown format. And now you can extrapolate the idea. So maybe you want to write a article or whatnot. So you can do all those things using this agent. Going back to my slide. So this is the two demo. And if you want to go to the TypeScript documentation, this documentation will be in the GitHub, in the quick start guide pretty soon. So like, but for now, if you want to start now, so go and check. I have a step-by-step, so you can really follow through, and then it should just work. And yeah, and then like the next roadmap for us is like to improve the developer experience. So right now, it is still a little bit of work on like if you go to through the documentation, you will see like you have to rename the Python agent.py file to agent.ts, and you have to kind of copy paste some files. So there are a lot of these kind of a developer experience that we will work on and will kind of improve in next few weeks. So that is exciting. So and I am really, really excited about TypeScript SDK because I love TypeScript. And if you want to kind of reach out to me, you can reach out to me obviously, but there is a channel where you can ask for help. So maybe Cameroon, you can share the channel with everyone. So so that if anyone have question, they can ask in the channel.
Yep, I'll do that. But I'm also a little cognizant to post things on Twitter because that's how you get a bunch of bots. So yes, we'll absolutely post that to anyone that needs any support. But Zahid, thank you. We are up on time. We don't have a lot of time for questions, but definitely reach out. I'll also just make a issue on GitHub, like they get responded to quickly. So again, thanks for hopping on. Hope to see you next week. We'll be doing this every single week. So obviously more updates. Awesome. Well, that concludes our guest for today. Just as a quick recap, just want to walk through. There was a lot shared. So, shout out to all of those who have been actually following since the beginning. I did drop a lot of the links from today's call on this Twitter thread. Just as a quick recap, the NEARWEEK got a pretty big improvement. DevX is improving. Thank you, Zahid and the team for making that happen. Doppelgangers launched their digital twin in their mobile app, so definitely give them a follow. There's the Auditor Agent RFP, so if anyone is a security engineer and wants to help red team agents in the Near AI Hub, check out the RFP. It's added here. Again, made the Near AI Hub much faster. Hong and the Phala team definitely shared some exciting updates about their cloud, about Red Pill. Definitely give this video a review and absolutely give them a follow. They're by far one of the best teams focused on TEEs in the entire actually AI space as well. So definitely give them a follow. TEEs are going to absolutely change how all AI operates. Like this is going to become a standard over time. This is why NVIDIA is adding TEEs to all of their new A100 and H200s and H100s and B200s. So like this is way beyond crypto, and Phala and Near are at the cutting edge of this. So be sure to give them a follow. As I highlighted, we are organizing an in-person hackathon in San Francisco on March 14th and 15th. That is in partnership with SF Compute and Electric Capital. Electric Capital is amazing. If you do, or if you're lucky enough to get investment from them, they support a lot of incredible teams with these types of events. So shout out to them. Private ML SDK, we talked about that. Intellex, give them a follow. Again, they're mostly focused on enterprise adoption. Again, a prerequisite for mass adoption. We definitely need it. And with Shade Agents was a huge announcement as well. I actually need to write about it again. So here's actually the Twitter thread by the Near Protocol account explaining all what this is. So exciting stuff. And yeah, TypeScript, we just talked about it. That's all we got for the week. And shout out to NEARWEEK for hosting this space and putting this all together. It's been a pleasure to work with you guys. And oh, actually, lastly, next week is ETH Denver. There's a lot going on. We do need to confirm if we're going to do this space. We'll talk about the async, but there are some really great events if you do find yourself in Denver. There's an entire list of all of these events that Near will be at. First off is the 1 Trillion Agents Day. It's a 2-day conference. Actually, the first day is followed by a happy hour with Delphi Digital, good friends of ours focused on the decentralized AI space and also crypto, of course. And then, I'm not going to go through all these events. It's a ton. The one event that I'm co-hosting again with Electric Capital is ETH Rising. This is mainly around decentralized AI and DeFi. So come attend this event for what's kind of on the cutting edge of institutional adoption and the role of AI. Again, there's so many things here. Not going to unpack all of them. Definitely give this video a rewatch if you want to dive into the specifics. But that is it for the week. Anyone have any? Let's just double check. Who's going to send this? Nope. Okay, good. We're good, guys. Appreciate you all tuning in, and give Near AI a follow. See you next week.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to NEARWEEK.